Today's topic is interest in land versus estate in land. Actually, what is the difference? There is some difference. There's some difference. But first, let me talk about two types of interest in land. Now, one type is possessory interest. That means the interest that comes with possession, right of possession, and also give rise to an estate in land, meaning you become the owner. Now, another type is non-possessory interests that do not give rise to right of possession nor an estate in land. Now, for example, now let's say you go to the bank to borrow a mortgage loan. Now, the bank will have a very big interest in your property, but it does not have the right of possession and it does not have an estate. Now, until you default on loan. Whereas, as a freehold landowner, for example, somebody may come and say that, okay, rent a space to me for 30 years. Now, that kind of leases will confer right of possession, and the 30-year lessee will become a titled interest holder, meaning he is considered the owner of that space. So now, let me explain further. When is a real property an estate? When there's right of possession, and the possession will then carry over for a long period of time, such as exceeding 7 years. Now, land interest exceeding 7 years, you call it a lease already. So the person will be called a lessee, no longer a tenant. Now, the longest type of right of possession will be forever, which we call freehold interest. Now, definitely, if somebody has a freehold interest, then of course he will be the landowner. Now, but the interesting part is that he can grant a lease for maybe a shorter period, such as a 99-year period. So then for the 99-year period, now he will have to hand over his right of possession to the lessee. Now, of course, I have another video to explain this. Now, today, this video itself, I just want to differentiate interest in land from estate in land. Is a tenancy an estate since there is right of possession? The answer is no, because tenancy is not exceeding 7 years. Right of possession not exceeding 7 years. Now, if you have an interest over a land, such as a lessee, and your right of possession actually exceeds 7 years, that is different thing. All right, you're called a lessee, so you're the owner. What is a titled interest? Meaning your name will then appear in the title. That is a more interesting part. Now, it means that your title, your interest can be registered into the title. So you will have to engage a lawyer and basically register your interest with the Land Titles Office. Now, in the old days, you will have people who rent the upstairs apartment above a coffee shop, say for example. So we're talking about the 50s, 1960s. After that, because we start to have HDB flats and all that, so that more people then will get a flat instead of renting from a property owner. Now, so what happened is that this is what we call private lease. Private lease, and this lessee then maybe sign a lease of 99 years, and then he start to occupy the second floor private apartment on top of a coffee shop or on top of a shop. So, but you'll also see shorter leasehold periods, such as 60 years. Now, so those type of leases, they are not tenancy, because they are considered long leases. In fact, anything exceeding 7 years considered long. So you have to register your interest. So when you register your interest on official record, then you're called the owner already. You're the lessee. You're the lessee. Now, another example, modern example, the Ministry of National Development actually bought over the entire office component of Jurong East Mall, JAM, for 30 years. Now, so these kind of long leases, you also can see in a modern commercial building. The MMD in JAM being the later examples. Now, okay, now long leases, as I've repeating myself already, long leases exceeding 7 years confer an estate in land, not just right of possession, but estate in land. Now, a 10-year factory lease is a very good example. So you become the owner of the factory for 10 years, then end up you have to pay property tax, you have to pay maintenance, you have to pay insurance, which we call triple net lease, triple net lease. All right. Now, estate in land, I already mentioned, you become the owner. Now, when someone has an estate in land, his name appears in the title. So it's very important that I must emphasize that you do title search. And of course, if you are preparing to take the exam, then you need to have this concept very clearly. That is, all these interests that I've just spoken about, all can be discovered through a title search. So when I say that, okay, a 30-year lessee, his name is in the title, means that when you do a title search, first, of course, you'll see the proprietor. That's the landowner. So if I use back my example of an apartment on top of a coffee shop, so the coffee shop owner will be the proprietor. The proprietor means the landowner. So the lessee on the second floor apartment will be the lessee. Now he rents, or he bought over only the airspace. He becomes the owner of the airspace. Now, if let's say this is not a strata titled property, then he will have no share in land. Now, if let's say this is a strata titled property, then he will own the airspace with some share in land. Now, that will be another lecture altogether. So, but as it is now, I just need you to understand that if you have an estate, your name is in the title, you are considered a leasehold owner. Now, ownership estates, you will have freehold. Now, there are two types of freehold: fee simple and estate in perpetuity, also known as statutory land grant. Now, you also have live estate, which is a kind of leasehold interest, but is for as long as the lessee lives. That means his life, for his life. That's why it's called live estate. Now, so how does it end? When he passed away, the interest may go down to the next generation. Now, that will be live estate with remainder. Now, but there may be a reversion. So now I have a separate lecture on reversion. So you have to go find the video. It's all on my website. Now, so for the other ordinary leasehold interests, like I've just mentioned, like 30 years, 60 years, 99 years, now there will always be a reversion, meaning there's either the state or the freehold owner who will take back the estate. Now, again, that will be another separate lecture altogether. Now, so there are other videos on related topics on live estate, which I just mentioned: freehold versus leasehold, now leasing versus license, leasing versus tenancy. And now, if you own an airspace, for example, without share in land, now your title is called subsidiary certificate of title. Now, a lot of students going for examination, they're very, very confused over SCT, which is subsidiary certificate of title. So as a result, I have actually produced independently just one topic. We spend about 10 slides, probably will be about 8 to 10 minutes, just to further explain, all right, on SCT. So I hope that you are now clearer in your idea. So I see you in other videos.